It was a cold, rainy afternoon in late autumn when the phone rang. The kind of day when the sky is heavy and gray, and the rain feels like it never wants to stop. On the other end of the line was a desperate voice, a neighbor who could no longer stay silent. "There's a dog here," the woman said, her voice shaking.
She's been chained to the same spot for 10 long years. Everyone calls her a monster. No one dares to go near her. Please, can you help?
That was the moment our story with Luna began. When the rescue team arrived, the scene was heartbreaking. In the backyard of an old, run-down house stood a dog, or what was left of one. Luna was tied with a short, heavy chain to a rusty post. She had almost no fur left. Her skin was covered in thick, painful scabs, open sores, and raw patches that looked like they had been bleeding for months. Flies buzzed around her. The ground beneath her was nothing but mud mixed with her own waste. She was thin, so painfully thin that you could see every rib and every bone in her spine. At 10 years old, Luna had spent her entire adult life in that one miserable spot. Rain or shine, summer heat or freezing winter nights. She was there. No shelter, no blanket, no toys, no kind words. Just the chain, the pain, and the fear. When the rescuers approached, Luna didn't bark. She didn't growl. She simply curled into the smallest ball she could make, trembling violently. Her eyes, those once bright eyes, were filled with pure terror. She had learned that humans meant pain, that hands meant hitting, that any movement near her meant danger. It took almost 2 hours just to get close enough to sedate her safely. When they finally lifted her into the van, she was so weak she could barely lift her head. The team cried in the car on the way to the shelter. They had seen many neglected dogs before, but never one this broken. The first days at the shelter were the hardest. Luna was placed in a quiet, warm kennel with soft blankets and fresh water. But she didn't move. She pressed herself into the farthest corner, facing the wall, shaking non-stop. If anyone even walked past her kennel, she would flinch and whimper. She refused to eat. For the first 48 hours, she touched nothing. Not food, not water. The veterinarians were worried she might not survive the first week. Her body was fighting multiple infections. Severe munch had eaten away most of her coat. Her skin was inflamed and painful to the touch. Her paws were cracked and bleeding from years of standing in mud and urine. The vet said quietly, "This is one of the worst cases of long-term neglect I've ever seen." Every small step felt like a victory. On day 3, a volunteer named Sarah sat outside Luna's kennel for hours, speaking softly, not trying to touch her. She simply read a book out loud, in a calm voice. That evening, Luna ate just a few bites of soft food from a bowl placed far away. It was the first time in years she had eaten without fear. On day 5, something incredible happened. Sarah slowly extended her hand, palm up, and left it there. After 20 long minutes, Luna took one tiny step forward and sniffed her fingers. She didn't pull away immediately. That small sniff became the first crack in the wall she had built around herself. Week after week, the healing continued. Slowly, painfully, slowly. The medical team bathed her every few days with special medicated shampoos. They treated every sore, gave her antibiotics, pain medication, and nutrient-rich food to help her gain weight. Luna's skin was so sensitive that even gentle touching hurt at first, but Sarah never rushed her. She sat with her every single day, sometimes 4 hours, just being present. Month 1. Luna's trembling became less constant. She started to eat regularly. Tiny patches of soft, white fur began to appear on her back and legs. The first new hair in years. Month 2. She allowed Sarah to gently stroke her side for a few seconds. Her eyes, which had always looked empty and afraid, started to show something new. A flicker of curiosity. Month 3. Luna took her first steps outside the kennel on a soft grassy area. The sun was shining that day. She stood there, feeling grass under her paws for the first time in a decade. She lifted her head and closed her eyes, as if trying to understand this new, gentle world. The changes kept coming, little by little. By month 4, Luna's fur was growing back thicker and healthier. Her body filled out. The painful scabs healed into smooth pink skin that eventually disappeared under beautiful new coat. She started to wag her tail, just a tiny, hesitant wag at first, then stronger and happier. One afternoon, Sarah brought in a soft toy, a small stuffed bear. Luna stared at it for a long time. Then, cautiously, she reached out with her paw and touched it. Minutes later, she was gently mouthing the toy, playing for the very first time in her life. Sarah was sitting on the floor of the playroom. Luna walked over slowly, looked into her eyes for a long moment, and then climbed into her lap, curling up with a deep, contented sigh. For the first time in 10 years, Luna felt safe enough to trust a human completely. Tears rolled down Sarah's face as she held her. From that day on, Luna transformed faster than anyone expected. She learned to run, really run across the yard with joy. She discovered how wonderful belly rubs feel. She greeted volunteers with happy zoomies and that classic dog smile, mouth open, tongue out, eyes sparkling. After 8 months of love, patience, and healing, Luna was no longer the monster everyone once feared. She had become a gentle, affectionate, playful girl who loved people and other calm dogs. The final chapter came when a kind family visited the shelter. They had heard Luna's story and fell in love with her photos. After several careful meet and greets, they decided to adopt her. On the day Luna left the shelter, Sarah knelt down and hugged her tightly. Luna licked her face as if saying thank you. As the car drove away, Luna looked out the back window, tail wagging, heading to her forever home. A warm house with a big backyard, soft beds, and a family that would never chain her again. Luna's story is proof that no dog is too broken, too scared, or too damaged to be saved. With time, patience, and unconditional love, even the most shattered souls can learn to trust again and find happiness. If you've ever felt like giving up on something or someone, remember, thank you for watching Luna's journey. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps more dogs like Luna get a second chance. And remember, every dog deserves love, even the ones the world once called monsters.